कैंसिल करो
No, hello.
people are still joining.
Sure, Poonam.
Okay. Now, almost everybody has joined from the waiting room. We will start. Welcome everyone to this wonderful webinar. Let's begin this session with a brief introduction of our today's faculty and the speakers. So allow me to share my screen. Beyond clinical practice, transitioning to healthcare management, real stories, real shifts. Today, in collaboration with ODGO Careers, our today's eminent speakers are Dr. Isha Maharana, Assistant Professor, IIHMR Bangalore, and Dr. Anahita Dev, Founder, ODGO Careers. Let's introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Anahita Dev, who is a founder of ODGO Careers. She is a dental graduate from Manipal College of Dental Sciences, Bangalore, and she has completed her graduation in 2014. Transitioned from clinical dentistry to corporate healthcare in 2019. She has worked with Zelt AI, which is a health tech company, and Practice Buzz in USA, rising to head of content and marketing. She founded ODGO Careers in 2021 to guide healthcare professionals into non-clinical roles. She has helped 243 plus professionals so far to secure jobs and master's admissions in health tech, pharma, consulting, and more. ODGO is incubated at ISB Hyderabad's iVenture, leads a growing team of 18 plus empowering dental graduates to explore high growth career paths beyond clinics. We welcome you, Dr. Anahita Dev, on behalf of IHMR Bangalore.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we also have Dr. Isha Maharana with us today. And let's begin this session with a brief video of our campus at IHMR Bangalore.
Thank you, Poonam. So, with that, Dr. Anahita, I believe we can start the session.
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Yes.
Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to this info session about everything about non-clinical careers, management degrees, and everything that you need to know about IIHMR. I keep getting so many DMs, so many inquiries about IIHMR, and I keep telling people one thing or the other, but I think it's better to hear it directly from a faculty who was also who's currently an alum, was a student of IIHMR Bangalore. And we have for you Dr. Isha Maharana. We met on Instagram. That's where I meet most people, but that's where we met Dr. Isha. And I have been a fan of her since then. I've seen her LinkedIn profiles, talked it quite a bit of time, number of times, and it's gone so far and so forth. So I just want you to give us a brief introduction about what you've done so far, and just why did you decide to sort of take the leap into healthcare management?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for kind of facilitating this session today. And as Dr. Anahita rightly mentioned, we met on Instagram because I keep on looking for people whose career profile is similar to mine, who have taken a different route other than clinical, and that's how I landed upon her page. And I see that ODGO is doing great work, so I thought, why not collaborate? And that is how I got to know that there are a lot of students who are coming to her, reaching out to her with the questions which are relevant to or pertaining IHMR Bangalore. Is it going to help? Is the degree going to help? Should we go ahead and do it? And that is how this entire webinar came into fruition. So, starting with a brief profile, probably I will just give you a quick intro on what I have done and how my journey has been like. And probably after that, we can delve deeper into the frequently asked questions. So, I'm Dr. Isha. I am a BDS by undergraduation, and while I was studying, I think I had realized that I'll have to figure out something other than this. Because even though I was good at what I was doing, I was enjoying what I was doing. But I believe I wanted to do something more. So for me, while a few of my batchmates were very clear that, like either they had clinics, family clinics, or they wanted to start a clinic, some of them wanted to, they had already started consulting or interning at different clinics. While I was doing that, I also realized that I want to broaden my horizon. And there was one thing that I realized, that I really like to talk. And another thing was that I would prefer to be probably in a client facing role. But at that time, I was not very clear on what to do, because in medical colleges, I believe that we are focusing much more on depth, as we rightly should, but that kind of widens or closes our area of interest. There are not a lot of things which we are studying which is out of our books. We are studying about human bodies, anatomies, all the clinical procedures, how to handle a patient probably, but then we don't know what else is happening on the healthcare front. And that was one thing which really interested me. So community dentistry was one area of like great interest for me, because that was one thing which was giving me a wider perspective on what is happening on the health front. So I think the seed was sown. And then I come from a very small city. I come from literally the middle of the country. My native is Bihar, but I was born and brought up in MP. I did my entire study, graduation, schooling, and everything from there. And I did not have a lot of people whom I can reach out to, because almost all of my seniors, they were in the clinical practice itself. So I started exploring, and I got to know that yeah, there are certain corporate jobs that you can like do soon after your BDS. So I did my complete my BDS, did some clinical practice here and there, but then I started working for a US healthcare company which is based out of Mumbai. That was my first taste of corporate. And there I had joined as a clinical scribe, but then I moved on to become auditor and then team leader and all of that. And I enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed it. And I would be lying if I say that I did not miss my clinical practice. I did, because your hands become accustomed to it, right? And it was something new. So I was also scared, because I did not have anybody to guide. It was a new path that I was choosing. But when I went outside, I realized that, okay, there are a lot more people from different medical streams who are also there. So that means that, like some percentage of our fraternity is also looking out for alternate options. So this is a disclaimer that I usually give whenever I'm taking any lecture or anything, that don't think that this particular like stream is going to be good for everybody. It is not. There are some people who would be more than happy, more than satisfied and content continuing with the clinical practice, and that is good too. But if you are somebody who has constantly wondered, like, is this it? Or, like there could be multiple other areas where I should go into, it is for them. This conversation is for them. So after I did that, soon after that, I realized one thing, that I can continue doing a corporate job and I can climb up the ladder also. But I wanted to become a master of it, if I can put it across like that. I wanted to have professional education. And while I was in the system, I was also noticing this fact that even though there are a lot of people who are coming from directly medical backgrounds, there are few people who are coming from a management background as well. And there were things which I realized that probably they know better than I do, or the same like the same task is taking me slightly more time than that, or slightly more energy than them, while they are prepared in it, they are proficient in it. And I think that was when I started considering getting a management degree. So I explored few colleges, I did my own check, ROI and brand and all of that, and I decided to join IHMR Bangalore. And the journey has been very great for me, because I joined IHMR Bangalore in 2019. And I think I was one of the oldest in my batch, because there were a lot of people who are coming right after college.
Right after college, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, see, age is very subjective. If there
Mhm.
are two people sitting together, obviously, if somebody is younger, one has to be the oldest, right? But I was still one of the oldest people in my batch. And then what surprised me the most is that there were a few females who were joining in after having a long stint at their career, and they had kids and all.
Yeah.
And my God, how beautifully they managed. And I was surprised that how do you manage everything all together? And I'm not kidding, some of these, they turned out to be the gold medalist of the batch. So I think that was when I realized, okay, age is actually just a number.
Mm,
Definitely, there will be some pros, there will be some cons. Because for me, I could see that these guys have more time when
mm,
I compared it with myself. Because when I say more time, they had more time to make mistakes. They had more time to explore. For me, I
mm,
already had that pressure that I have chosen something out of the ordinary. Now I have to make the most
mm.
of it.
Correct.
That happened, and then I am from the OG COVID batch. COVID
Mm,
hit after first year, and a couple of companies which I had focused, and I had went in with the idea that this is the company that I would to join in.
mm,
They had a
mm,
hiring freeze and they did not come that year. But
Got
yeah,
it.
so I think universe makes you humble. Ki हाँ
Mm.
ठीक है, you have planned this for yourself, no? Let me throw you a googly.
I, s- I say exactly this, that universe always humbles me down. Like this is something which I've realized across my career journey, my trajectory. It is something which is constant, and I'm glad that that happens
Yes,
because I don't want to fly a little too high. But yes, please continue.
that is there. See, it humbles you. Plus, it also shows you that whatever you might have planned for yourself might not be the best for you.
Correct.
And I
Exactly.
think it really helped me. So, I think exactly the point where the transformation began was I entered the college, and in 1 month itself, I got a chance to sit for, a consulting company had come in, like to get some interns. So there was a live project which was going on, and there was an entire round of interview and all of that, and I got in, and I started working for them, and that was the first time that I was working for a pharmaceutical product. Now, my
Mm,
knowledge about pharmaceutical is limited to the exams that we have given. That's it.
Correct. Mm,
And that was the first scare. Ki, okay, how am I going to cope up with the pharma product? But then I
mm,
learned and I really liked it. And then that was my first chance at sales and marketing and strategy.
mm,
And then I realized, okay, strategy is something that I really, really like.
mm,
And like account management and sales is giving me the opportunity to talk to a lot of different people. That is helping
mm,
me make my own skills. So while I was studying, I was also doing my internship. Then
mm,
second year came, and long story short, I got a PPO, also pre-placement offer from the same consulting company. Plus,
mm,
I used to network a lot. I
mm,
also got connected to a company, Stand Plus, which is now Red Health, and there also I cleared the interview. So
mm,
now it was. When you enter these colleges, you are most worried about the fact कि यार placement होगा कि नहीं होगा, and then suddenly I have options. So I was like, okay, let's assess it properly. And
mm.
I assessed, I saw what profile suits me more. Then I ended up joining Red Health, and I
Mm.
joined as a business development manager over there. I moved
Okay.
to become a strategic key account manager. So I had
Mm,
there for around 2 3 years, 2 to 4 5 years, and there, see, with startups, what happens? No, you have to wear multiple hats, and in that moment, you are running a startup, so you would definitely know, because you cannot limit yourself to one thing. You will have to look at every single thing.
My team is also like that. Everybody working at ODJ is like that.
This is something that I tell my students, that if you want to feel young, you have to be in a startup,
Very
because
true. That is very true.
everything will be so fast paced, and there will be multiple things going on in your head. Ki, "Acha, what can we do about this? What can we do about that?" There will be multiple things running parallelly at the same time. So
Mm.
yeah, I had fun. I had fun working over there. Definitely, stress is always there because you're learning multiple different things. After that, I was pushed by a pharma consulting company. There also I worked for like a couple of years. There I was working as a consulting and business development manager position. So it included a bit of this, a bit of that. I had to become a
Mm.
consultant. So starting my, when I think about like that, Isha in early 20s, I would have never thought that I would end up in a corporate
Yeah,
company
you
becoming
did.
a consultant. Yeah. And after that, as luck would have it, my career completed full circle when I landed as an academician in IIHMR Bangalore. And I always wanted to teach somewhere. I had this in my mind that at some point of time, I want to be in academics. I really want to work with students. And probably I wanted to fill the gaps that I had. And
Mm.
for me, IIHMR Bangalore was a very transformative journey, because the things that I was not exposed to during my dental practice, and rightfully so, I was not supposed to learn all of that. Those were
Correct.
the things that I learned during this entire phase. Public speaking was something which anyway I was doing, but I did it on a better scale. I did it
Mm.
in front of a bigger audience. Like I got used to talking to different people while I was networking, industries, organization. I understood, okay, what kind of market actually exists outside. What are the different
Mm.
kind of things that you can do?
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah, for me, this journey has been very challenging and very interesting. And here I
Mm.
sit as an assistant professor right now, and I did my specialization in hospital management, and but my bread and butter has always been marketing, client servicing, branding, strategy, and all of that.
Really.
Yes, so
It
that's all.
looks like, yeah, because it when you were talking about it, it looks like a little bit like my career trajectory as well, minus the MBA bit, because it has been like a very illustrious journey that you've had, like from business development to marketing to strategy. And I feel that everybody, like even I prefer going for startups more than corporate jobs because, like corporate companies, bigger pharmaceutical companies, MNCs, I do think, and specifically the point that you said about married women with kids coming back to work, and that is probably one of the most driving factors that even I've seen at Odiju. I think they're more motivated than anyone else who's coming in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that is definitely one thing. So now we'll come to a very pressing question that people ask me. Is, and I wanted the next question that I actually wanted to ask you was about the job opportunities, but I think we'll get to that a little later.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
just want you to highlight the importance because here are two people. One is one with a BDS degree and an MBA in healthcare management degree, and one is just a BDS graduate who hasn't done a management degree. So, can you sort of give us some highlights, pros and cons of both going for a management degree? Like, what do you say at which point does it sort of, you've covered a little bit about, the people who came in and what kind of experiences they were coming in with in your previous workplace before your MBA degree. So could you shed some light on that so that people know when they have to sort of go ahead and decide, okay, this is what I want to do and I want to do a master's degree?
Absolutely. Okay. So let me answer it in this manner. See, I'll say one thing, and it is going to sound vague. Okay. Uh, you tailor make your success story. There is no one size fits all solution. I have
Mm.
seen, like a degree might work for somebody, a degree might not work for somebody. At the end of the day, it is you who is developing all those skills. Because I have seen while I was hiring, when I was a part of these corporate companies, I've seen that sometimes people who are coming without an, like MBA or PGDM degree, they were working better than somebody with a degree. But that was majorly because of the work that they had done on themselves. So it's not tailor made. You craft your own path. What works for you? What is your vision? What is your mission? What is your short term and long term thought process? Having said that, from a completely objective, quantifiable perspective, if you want to grow, if you want to climb up the ladder in a corporate chain, like in startups and bigger companies, it's good to have, like a master's degree.
Management.
It's always good to have, because the thing is, if you are coming with a management degree, the organization is going to have that trust on you that you are also coming with those corporate grooming and etiquettes. There is a certain more structure and stability in your approaches, because for 2 years you are completely grinding and hustling yourself in those 2 years. And I believe right now you are also doing an executive degree, right? So you
Yeah, yeah,
must
yeah.
see a difference. So I'm not saying that people,
Definitely.
yeah, so I'm not saying that people who don't have a degree cannot do it, but definitely if you want to climb up the ladder, if you are looking at corporate as a long term career option, it is always good to have, because the amount that you will have to put in, let's take example of like a project management. You can also work on a project management task, I can also work on it, somebody who is a fresher can also work on it, but the time and the expertise with which we will be doing it will differ, and that will be directly proportional to the amount of time that we have spent in learning those skills. Now it could be without a degree, it could be with a degree, but when you are coming with a theoretical backup as well, then you will have a lot more structure. It is going to take you lesser the time, it is going to take you lesser the efforts, and you are going to have specialized options. You'll be aware of the tools, you will be aware of like, how do I use the tool, which tool is going to be better. So it polishes you in a very in a very professional way. So if you are seeing corporate in your long term, it is always good to have. So this is the pros. I do not see a cons. I'm being extremely neutral when I say this. I do not see a cons in having a degree, because
No,
the
definitely.
degree, yes, at the end of the day, it's your intellectual resource. It's your intellectual property. Whatever you are going over, like you're going and learning over there, you're doing it for yourself. It's an investment that you're doing on yourself. Yes, definitely for some people I do understand that there could be some financial and family responsibilities as well. For some people it might be difficult to go ahead for a 2-year degree, but my suggestion always is, if you can do it now, it will help you tomorrow. So do not see like कि कितना return of investment मिलेगा या ये वो, उसके बदले ये देखो कि what are you going to learn in those 2 years. So I think
And
there are no per se.
hmm. So why subsequent question to that is, would you recommend people to get some amount of work experience before they opt for a management degree? We'll talk about the PGDM and MBA difference as well for people, because that's also a very common question, commonly asked question that comes in. So do you recommend people getting some amount of work experience in the corporate sector and then sort of getting a degree, or is it after, as a fresher, they can join in as well?
So there are two schools of thoughts in this. One is that if you have already worked somewhere, like in not in a clinical capacity,
Mhm.
in a management capacity, it
Hmm.
could be working for a multi-specialty clinic also, because there
Hmm.
also you're managing people, right? We sometimes have a tendency of looking down at the work that we do. So that is something that I ask people to change. That no, if you have done any sort of work in managerial capacity, that counts, right? But definitely corporate is way more layered. But so the one school of thought says that if you have worked somewhere, it becomes easier for you to grasp things. For sure, it becomes easier. The second school of thought says, why do you want to waste another year of your life if you are sure that you want to go ahead, take this degree, and then go ahead head on? And both of them are correct. So it depends upon you at what stage, of life you are in. How much time do you have? How much do you want to experience or experiment? For me, I wanted to get a taste of corporate. That's why I went ahead. Soon after I completed my BDS, I found a job, I went ahead. But now when I look back, I could have done without that also. Because the salary scale which I was getting before I did my MBA and after I did my management, very different,
Has came.
extremely
Hmm.
different. So there is a possibility that I could have just went ahead and I could have started at a better pay scale. But then there is
Hmm.
also a possibility that probably I would have been slightly underprepared. You never know. That's a risk
Yeah.
that you take.
Hmm.
So at the
Got
end of
it.
the day, it depends. what do you want to do? Do you want to spend those 1 year, 2 year getting some more experience prepping yourself, or do you want to go head on? Because those 2 years of MBA, they are going to grind you so much, you won't have time. You will have to learn. The entire environment is like that.
Got it. Even earlier, I used to say, like, I am a big proponent of the fact that you should get some amount of work experience and then get into it. But eventually, as I started speaking to more and more people, I did realize that some people actually want to do it right out of college. And then I realized that there are programs that are being offered not just in our country, but across the globe now. Things have been changed, deferred MBA programs, so on and so forth. So I think to each their own, it's also a very personal decision
Yes.
in that matter. If I,
Yes.
because at the end of the day, paying for your education, how much you want to wait, if that's what your end goal is. So I think you've put it very rightly. Another thing that we should cover before we get into more deeper questions is there a difference between MBA and PGDM?
Just the
Yeah. So
that's it.
that's something which,
Just the nomenclature.
yeah, just I wanted to make that clear for everyone that PGDM is in fact offered by literally every country in sorry, every school in the country. So that's
So
what I
it's
wanted to.
just in the nomenclature difference depending upon whether it's a university or it's an institute. And at the end of the day, it all boils down to your job pool. When you are in a job pool, be it an MHA, be it a PGDM in like health and hospital management, be it an MBA in health management, everybody's applying for the same jobs. Everybody is being hired irrespective of the nomenclature. The
Correct.
subjects which are being taught is the same. It's just the nomenclature difference.
Okay. So next question is one of my favorite topics also. Why did you choose to do a healthcare MBA over a conventional MBA? Like, can you list out some pointers so people can make their decisions as well?
Okay, ठीक है. So one thing is, I absolutely love the prefix doctor that I have, and I absolutely wanted to stay in touch with health. So while I was choosing for it, I did have options, and like I had applied to some health management colleges. I had applied to some like general management colleges as well. But okay, I'll be extremely brutally honest when I say this. Uh, I think there is a lot of competition nowadays because the we are overloaded with content and information, and specifically this particular generation, people who are born under 2000, they have had unregulated amount of content is being thrown on them. It's extremely easy to get information. They don't have to do the research that people like 10 years back, 15 years back, 20 years back had to do. In my time, I remember when I was in school, I used to use those broadband and modem and all of that. I did not have that chat
Same,
GPT. Yeah,
same.
so we had to research, right? And we had limited time to research because everything was being charged. Now everything is
Free
out
of
there. You
cost.
type it out, and the first response is from AI, right? So, yeah. So the thing is that times have changed, and according to that, we also have to change our approach. And for me, I was very clear that health is something that I don't want to leave. And I have to reduce competition also. If I am going for a general management course, I will be also competing with people who are coming from technical backgrounds. I will be competing with people whose quant is better than mine. And why do I want to increase the competition? And why shouldn't I be in a field where I am going to be the cream? And when I say this, I say it very constructively. I am not saying that I won't be able to compete with those people. I definitely can. You definitely can. Everybody listening to this definitely can. It's just that it is going to take a slightly more time, slightly more energy, more hard work to reach out to that. And there could be times where if technical expertise is required, then my background can probably be a cons for me,
Correct.
right?
Hmm.
Because it is a stereotype that all the medicos, their maths is not very good, they are not good with technical stuff, right? It stands true for a lot of us, but not for all of us. In our college itself, like, we have a faculty who is a tech person, and he also comes from BDS background. I'm a marketeer, I come from a BDS background. You are a founder, you come from a BDS background, right? So this is how it is. So my focus was very clear. I want to go into an area where I can shine, and I do not want to leave health behind. My background should be a weapon for me. It should not be a cons. So I made a very well informed decision that no, health management it is. I want to continue working in a health management field only.
So, do conventional MBA colleges also offer healthcare placements? Like, if, let's say, somebody wants to pick it up, do they offer healthcare placement in healthcare companies?
Yeah, it is there, but the ratio is very different.
Less.
Yeah, it's very different because see, in a healthcare management institute, you will only get healthcare organizations,
Mm,
right? So definitely your pool is
got
wider.
it. Understood. Okay. So next we come to a very important question again because we have a very mixed background of people even at Audicio, and if people who there, yes, there will be a recording of it, so you'll have it available on IHMR's YouTube channel. Apart from that, I want to ask you who all are the people who can go ahead and pursue a healthcare management MBA, because it's a very common question that comes in.
Anyone who has graduated from any discipline, be it a healthcare background, be it a non-healthcare background. It is as simple as that. The thing is, we make it very tricky because we think about it a lot, right? But it does not matter whether you are coming from an MBBS background, a BDS, BAMS, BHMS, BBA, BCA, engineers. I have a student who is coming from a physics background, and he's doing really well. So,
Right.
yeah, that is the case. So, anybody who is interested in working in healthcare in a non-clinical capacity, this course is for them. You will always find, and always remember this one statement that I usually say, what I said in my previous answer, that your background should be a weapon for you. It should marry beautifully in your vision that yes, I'm coming from this background and this is why it is going to be an added asset rather than it dragging you down. So be smart, choose smartly.
That's a very wise piece of advice that you've given. So another very important question is why did you choose to go to IHMR out of all the other healthcare management colleges? Like just your personal opinion on it.
Yes. Okay. So, good question, tricky question. See, I was very sure what I wanted. That was one major thing. I had already worked for a couple of years, so my confidence was also coming from there. Ki yaar, like I have work experience also. My major reason was that one, IHMR Bangalore has a very good branding. It has a good reputation, and majorly it comes from the fact that we have 100% placement record. And when you are joining, see, right now I know it because I'm on this side of the table. I can see the data is in front of me, right? But at that point of time, you had to rely on whatever marketing was being done. I did not know anybody from IHMR Bangalore. And I had gotten in the other two branches as well. But I think for me, the deciding factor was the city, Bangalore, because there is absolutely no job profile that you would not find in Bangalore. This is a fact. And currently there is no private like hospital chain or major MNCs and consulting companies where you would not find somebody from IHMR. That means that like IHMR is doing good. My major thing was ki, theek hai, I trust on my skills. I know that if I get an interview, I will crack it, and if I don't, then I'll work on it and I'll crack the next one. I had that confidence on me, but then I needed that confidence on the institute. Also, I did a quick research on the like the faculty profile and everything, and IHMR Bangalore had a very wide variety of the streams that the faculties also were coming from. So there are these two things that you really have to look into. One and actually choosing Bangalore helped me because the consulting company which was coming for live internship, they came to Bangalore specifically because of the location. And that is how my entire introspection and reflection journey started. So this was my reason. Also, there were a few other colleges too, and I knew my spending capacity as well. So I did a quick calculation on how much I should stand and how many years I'll retrieve it. So I did that quick math also, and IHMR Bangalore was right there in the sweet spot for me, and that's why I went ahead, and it was a good decision.
Okay, perfect. We can see that. I can see that. I'm very proud of you for
Thank
if that counts for anything. Okay. So now we have a bunch of questions in the chat box, but I
you.
think we'll take that a little later.
Yeah.
So I have just a few more questions and then we can take the questions from the participants.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know what kind of roles do people get out of, and this comes to the major job roles questions, what kind of job opportunities will people get after they finish PGDM from IIHMR?
Okay, done. So for that, I'll have to go slightly deeper into the kind of courses that we offer. So there are two PGDM programs that we have. In the first one, PGDM HHM, we have hospital management, health management, which is essentially public health, health IT management, and pharmaceutical management. And the names are pretty much self explanatory, right? When we talk about hospital management, now there are multiple different things that you can do in a hospital. You can enter into operations, you can enter into quality, supply chain, you can enter into customer servicing. And see, the thing is, with the new the way that healthcare is booming, there are multiple different avenues which are being created. And same goes for health management. So public health is one area where I believe medicos are more acquainted with, because we also have similar topics in our graduation. And if you want to, I'll just give a layman overall view of what all can be done after this, because it's a very, very, very deep topic. And if you feel that you want to work on the grassroots level, policy making, you want to work with certain NGOs, or you want to work with probably, like different state governments and all of that, if you want to study how public health works nationally, internationally, then public health is the area that you should go. And when it comes to pharmaceutical management, this is again booming. And I see a lot of students who are coming from MBBS and BDS background as well, being very inclined towards pharmaceuticals. See, Anahita, I love the clarity that these kids have nowadays. They're very clear. Aate se, कि, okay, this is what we want to do. I know that I want to go into pharmaceuticals. And their straight answer is pharma is where the major of money is. Reason could be different. There could be somebody who might feel, no, pharma is where I want to, work, because they are the driving force when it comes to healthcare. There are some people who are very clear that, no, the kind of branding and marketing that they do, I'm more interested in that. So pharmaceuticals take you there. You can work in the medical affairs field, you can work in the clinical operations field, you can work in the business side of it. So according to the choices that you have made, you can work on it. And then we have health IT. Health IT name is also very suggestive. You can work in the EHR sections. You can become a data analyst. You can become a business analyst, and then you can work on to become consultant, also principal consultant, lead solution consultant. So depending upon the kind of area that you have chosen. So in this, I would like to clear one thing. A lot of students, they think that health IT might not be our cup of tea because we'll have to code. Coding is not what all of IT is.
Yeah.
There are multiple gamets to it. There are multiple facets to it, because there would be somebody who will be coding for you, building the systems for you, and you will help them bridge the gap between the end product and the starting product and the ideation. And then I come to a very, very new and booming and very interesting. I believe if it was there, I might have chosen it. So AI and data science in healthcare. So AI is everywhere. AI is not going anywhere. And even though as a teacher, I constantly ask my students not to be dependent on AI, but at the very same time, I want them to learn AI so well, because I read this somewhere that AI will not take our jobs, but somebody who knows how to use AI,
How to use AI.
that person is going to take our jobs. And AI and data science and healthcare is a very, very booming area. So when I talk about it, it could be its application in the clinical term. So there is a company, Cure AI, which is working in the field of early detection of lung cancer.
Yeah.
Then we have 5C, which is, like deeply working with AI and its application in clinical sciences everywhere. There are multiple new companies which are coming up, which are being incubated surrounding AI. So if
Correct.
you understand AI and data science, there might come a time where we will be able to forecast majority of health concerns, be it on an individual patient level, be it on like a national level, a regional level. Imagine putting artificial intelligence to the job, which probably hundred of people will have to come and sit together and do. So AI and data science is one very interesting field which has come up. So in this, there are multiple different new startups where you can work. Wherever forecasting and applications in clinical science is required, this is where you can fit very well. And you do not need to, be very proficient in maths or data analysis. You should just have the knack for crunching the data, understanding how it works, be curious about forecasting, risk analysis, and all of that.
Got it. That's something
So
Which
yeah,
I also
that's
tell.
an overview.
One thing which I would just want to put it out there is don't just pick AI and data science because that's the new next big thing. Do it if you have an interest towards
Absolutely.
doing it.
Yes, yes.
That's
That
something which I
stands true
keep
for all
telling
the
people.
areas.
Yeah, yeah. Correct, correct. That stands true for all areas. Because even though people think that pharma industries have a lot of money, but you have to constantly study in the medical affairs field. You have to
Yes.
constantly keep yourself updated, no matter how many degrees you come with. It's only your new advances that if you are updated with it, that works. So that's one thing that I would just like to put out there as a disclaimer also.
Absolutely.
Um,
I think this is something which should always be there in everybody's mind, because what we are choosing is not for the next 1 or 2 years. It's a degree which is going to stay with you.
yeah,
And at the
forever.
end of the day, you will be doing it for, like the maximum part of your life. Your work constitutes of the major part of your day.
Correct, correct.
You have to find something that you like.
Exactly.
And having said that, I have also seen people who have done, like specialization in one particular field, but they did not do it.
Mm.
And it was very easy for them also to jump to some other career. So it is not written in stone.
Yeah,
It
yeah. Correct.
everything translates to how much work you are putting in on yourself.
Mm. Correct.
Yes.
So then we come to one of the most, again, this is probably the most commonly asked question, which is
Yes.
how much, what is the salary packages that are given? And of course, that's a subjective thing, but I would just want you to shed some light on it and sort of help people understand what helps the highest rank, the person who gets the highest package get the package that they've gotten.
Yes. That is
And
a very good question that
that's
you.
the more, so that's what I want you to address.
No, I absolutely love that you have phrased this question in this particular way, because I see a lot of people asking this question, ki, like how much are we gonna earn, kitna milega, ye wo. My question always is, how much are you ready to give? How much are you investing in it? Not in terms of money, but in terms of your own, like skills and hard work and all of that. But yes, quantifying it, if I talk strictly about IHMR Bangalore's package, then there is a wide range. The average placement is somewhere around 7 lakhs, 7 LPA. And the highest that we have been in the past few years is 24 LPA. And this is via the campus placement. There are a few students who have taken out of campus placement offer as well, but this range stands true, 7 to 24 LPA. This is where you can start. Now imagine that the range is so wide. You have to figure out, where do you put yourself. I cannot. So this is again something that I say to my students, that see, if you are working for a job where you can only, you can only give the skills which are apt for a person who can earn 3.5 LPA. In that case, I cannot get you a placement which is 24 LPA, right? So you have to be very proficient with your own skills. And there are multiple jobs out there. Healthcare is going nowhere. Healthcare is something which will continue. Even during COVID, there were a lot of hirings which had happened when the market was down. So healthcare is there. Definitely your growth will depend on you. When I talk about campus placements, there are a lot of companies which come to us, be it, like national, international. Burjeel Hospital from UAE is one of the frequent recruiters for us. Deloitte comes, and then we have ACO, then we have, like multiple hospitals, be it Kaveri, be it Motherhood, and NH, and all of these. So there are multiple hospitals and organizations which come to us. It depends how good are you at presenting yourself, how much work you have put in, both theoretically and practically. We'll get you opportunities, but are you ready to grab it?
And what would you recommend that people, because we have some people who have joined IHMR and they would, sort of like a thing that they can take from here. Of course, you'll be there on campus also. But if there is something that they can take from here and to know what they should do to sort of, when you say have extra skills, like are there any internships that are being offered that they can pick up, extracurricular research? Like what would you recommend that they do?
Sure. So, the basic structure of IHMR itself includes summer training programs and internships and dissertations. So, in the first year itself, they are getting a lot of exposure from an industry perspective, because first year is the time that they are also considering which field to go into. So, all these internships, they help them. 3 to 4 months internship is there. There are students who are inclined towards hospital, they go work in a hospital. People who are inclined inclined towards pharmaceutical, they go join a company. So we have a placement cell which takes care of these. So all the industry immersion activities keep on happening. We also keep on calling multiple people from industry so that the students can get a direct approach. So now I
Connect.
also am coming from the industry. There are multiple faculties who are coming, but on the lighter side, वो घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर हो जाती है थोड़े time में, right?
That is very true. That
Yeah.
is very true.
So whatever I have the information that I give to them, but in general all the faculties, the entire curriculum that is built, generated by keeping this in mind, that it has to be industry ready. And on our governing boards and everything, and on the curriculum review board as well, we have people who are working in the industry, incorporated, like very senior positions. We also take care that some of the alumni who are now working outside, they are also involved in the process, so that the curriculum is industry ready. That is what we do. And now coming to the other question, what extra we can do? You just have to be proactive. That's it. You literally just have to be proactive. You see an opportunity, you grab it. You are not seeing an opportunity, you make it. If a thought comes into your mind that I want to see how this particular field and hospital works, how do I reach that? Do I have people coming from that area? If they are not coming, you figure out. Right now, you have so many opportunities on campus. The students can reach out to any of the faculty that they want to speak. So in IHMR, we also have a mentor-mentee system where around 6 to 8 students, they are assigned to like one faculty as their mentees, mentors. And this also helps them to approach, because sometimes, see, not everybody is going to be proactive naturally. For some people it might come with little difficulty, and when they have mentors already over there, they can reach out to them, because that is their job and our job. So in that case, we have facilitated that they can reach out to us and they can talk. If you feel, for example, there are some of the faculties who are very active in research. I am very active in networking. So students can go to whoever they want to, depending upon the kind of skill that they want to learn. So if you are being proactive, I think that solves all the problems. If you are being proactive, you will volunteer. If you are volunteering, you will learn. If you are sure that this is where I want to go, you can get more experience on that. If you want to explore, you can explore those opportunities as well. And you talk and you network. These are the two things which you have to do, because when you are talking, you are building that confidence. It is not just about English or language or grammar. What will you do if you have taken public health and you have to go to a region where only Tamil is being spoken? Right? So it's not just about English,
Very
it is
true.
about communication. How well you communicate, how confidently do you communicate, and how much efforts are you putting into it. And when I say communication, I mean it in all forms, not just verbal but written. And what you are
Written.
communicating is also important. You cannot just be fluff, you have to put in the depth into it. And depth
Yeah,
by
yeah.
knowledge and experience.
Mm.
So yeah, just
Love
be
that.
proactive, that's it.
Yeah. I think it's almost like घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर वाला जो बात है ना. That's happening. Like I also keep saying the same things, and you're also saying the same things. So I think people will understand this is not scripted, guys. This is extremely
That is
free falling.
absolutely not scripted,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I have had no discussion with her prior to this that she needs to talk about networking. This is
So this
something
could
which,
easily have been
yeah,
Instagram Live also. So this is similar
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's just about the fact that the more that you the proactiveness, and like you said very rightly, that not a lot of people say I'm an introvert, will I be able to do this? I've realized that like the mentor mentee session thing is also something which is a good thing. And in management colleges, what I've realized is till the time you don't go ask the faculty for something, they don't sort of like they are not the ones who are going to come. It's not like bachelors ki spoon feed ho jayega.
Absolutely.
You have to make sure to go with a very specific ask. That's what even I've learned so far. You have to have a very specific ask from a very specific person. Like Dr. Isha said, she's good at networking. So if you go to her, you go specifically for networking. Somebody's good at research, you go to them for research. So find that forte and sort of reach out to them. That's literally the whole essence of networking also, particularly. So why not make use of the faculty to start with? And I think that's all for my questions, because we've covered all of this across everything, like all the questions that I had. I think we'll take the questions from here.
Absolutely.
Um,
Before that, Dr. Anayata, one pointer I would like to add in
yeah, yeah,
continuation to
sure,
what
sure.
you said. Because for the past few years, since I decided to, jump into management, a lot of DMs, I'm receiving a lot of DMs where, people will write, hi, hello, how much placement do we get? What do we do? Do not reach out to people with those questions. You
Yeah,
will get an answer. You have to come, because I have responded to a lot of them, but I have only responded to people who have sent me the correct question. That is what is very important. Your highs and hellos, nobody is going to respond to. You have to mention that, hello, I'm coming from so and so background and I'm considering joining this particular course because of this reason. These are the queries that I have. ये नहीं होना चाहिए that, okay, what do I do? I don't know. How can I decide for you? I cannot decide. Nobody can decide for you.
correct.
You have to come with direct questions, specific questions. If you have any doubt about it, you tell me the kind of research that you have done on that. That, hey, I have looked into so and so, but I'm stuck at this position. Then I will appreciate the fact that you have researched. This stands true for, I am pretty sure you must also be getting
Yeah,
these kinds.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All the time, all the time. And you have to be, I always say this, like when you're reaching out, just a tip, when you're reaching out to people on LinkedIn, there's an option to personalize the invite and send. Make sure to put formally introduce, like state that, hi, Dr. Isha, and then you start with a little bit about your introduction. I know that the note is very short, but make sure to say that I have these skills. I'm looking to join this place, and I just wanted to get some insights from you. Then, when the person accepts your connection request, that's when you actually start having a conversation with them, because it's very important, because there are so many hi hellos. Like, that is very true. You have to come with a very specific ask. And like Dr. Isha very rightly said, now there is so much information out there. There is a lot of places that you can do background research on, and then for fact checking, you can reach out to the industry expert that you want to reach out to. That means the person would also love to have an open conversation with you, and it also saves the other person time. The person that you're networking with is something which I say all the time. Like, that is something which should be done, and I hope that you guys use this for as a networking tip moving forward.
Yes.
So,
The questions.
yes. So I think Akanksha has asked, "Hi, Dr. Isha, could you share with us a little bit about your interview prep? Was like for a how your interview prep was like for a strategy or a branding position?"
Okay, sure. So, Akanksha and rest. When you are prepping for an interview, first you have to understand in depth about the organization profile plus your job profile. That is one major thing which is important. Now, let me give you a piece of gyan that when we go for an interview, you also have to remember that the other person is there to hire you. They are not there to just outright say no to you. That like that reduces 50% of the fear that you have in mind. And you have to have your subject expertise. Strategy or branding position, they usually do not come in the first go, because if you have to create a strategy, that means that you have to be sort of a master or a proficient, you have to be proficient in that particular area. So usually this is either the second step or the third step, or while you are doing something, it will be inculcated in it. So you have to have control over that particular domain. And when I have to build a strategy for something, the first thing is the kind of research that I'm putting into it: market research, competitor analysis. So, whatever data that I have, because in an interview, they might not ask you the exact strategy, because that is why they're hiring you, right? They might ask you the process of your strategy building, and they might want to assess the knowledge that you have on that particular field, in that particular area. For example, if I'm sitting for, say, the eye market, ophthalmology. So in that case, I will do a quick research on how it is like in India, how it is like in this particular geography, how can I compare it, and what will be the process of my entire strategic positioning or branding positioning. So the process and the research is what is more important here.
That's actually a very good piece of advice. And this is something which, like, I know that people, when they reach out to me, they want like a set, sure answer. For every interview that you give, there is no set, sure answer that is there. It has to be almost always, of course, you can prepare for it and go, but it almost has to come on the spot. So you have to, like Dr. Isha rightly said, knowing about the company, like they are here to hire you. So if you know about the company, that's literally all that they're asking for. And then they sort of deep dive into the, technicalities of the particular thing that
Yes.
they're, particular position that they're going to hire you for. So, hello, Dr. Isha. How can a BDS graduate did MPH and cleared the NET UGC? How can someone like them get into teaching?
Okay, so you have already cleared all the hurdles. You are already a BDS graduate, you have already done post graduation, and if you already cleared NET UGC, so in that case, you just need to start applying into the right places. That's it.
Okay, so who should go for full-time MBA and who shall go for executive MBA? What are the eligibility factors?
Okay, okay. This is a very good. I keep on coming across this thing, and we were also talking about it about the full-time MBA and executive
Yeah.
MBA. See, full-time MBA gives you an entire, complete, holistic experience. So, if you are somebody who are just diving into it, or if you are a beginner in corporate, and if you want to have the entire information, because management is not just theory. Management is basically living through that entire journey. So those 2 years you are going to be so involved in your theory, in your practical, in your industry immersion, in your networking. It will give you a platform where you will be able to attend multiple different conferences, seminars. You'll be able to arrange those conferences, seminars. So that will change you holistically, completely, be it your professional entire grooming, be it your corporate etiquettes, be it your personal skills and all of that. So that is why I always suggest and prefer full-time MBA, because I have also done it. Now, when I talk about an executive MBA, see, Dr. Anahita is somebody, you're doing an executive MBA, right?
And no, it's a
It's
incubator program, but it's
incubator.
almost we have classes, but it's specifically not for Anayata, but for Oditio. It's sort of like that. But
Yes, yes.
Oditio is doing the executive MBA.
Okay, okay, understood, understood. So, see, the thing is, right now, I'm taking your example, Dr. Anahita, in this case, that she's somebody who has already done her entire hustle wala phase. She's still into it, but then she is somebody who decided that, okay, from clinical, I have to make a jump and I have to do entrepreneurship. I have to start something of my own. So, she has done that entire grind herself. Now she's going ahead for a course for her own reasons. Probably she wants to take another step ahead, right? Or she wants to give some more structure to it. It does not mean that without this she cannot go ahead. It just means that this is going to add to her profile, add to the company's profile, right? So for somebody who has already done this for a very long time, who and for some corporate students as well, like I have seen that there were some of the colleagues who had been working for around 7.5 years, 8 years. For them it did not make sense from a personal perspective to go back. And the reason that they chose executive MBA was because they could not go ahead with full-time MBA. This was their reason. Then there are some people who want to continue working while they are taking the degree, and they have been in the system for quite some time. So for them it might make sense because they have already understood whatever is required of them. But if you are somebody who is starting, who want to take it long term, and if you have the privilege of going ahead and doing it, if you have the choice, I would suggest from a personal standpoint, go ahead with the full-time MBA.
And when you say that somebody who has been in the system, is it because what I feel is that you have to be in a corporate job to sort of pursue an executive MBA? I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because executive MBAs don't offer placement opportunities. So at that point
Yes.
of time, it'll be a little. So this is specifically for people
That
who
is
made
what
the switch and then want to
That
consider.
is what I mean to say when I say the system. When I say the system, it means that they have been in corporate industry for quite some time. They are already well established. That okay, it has been 5 years, 10 years. But I see majority of the time people want to go ahead and do an executive MBA because they see that hiring is better for people with an MBA degree. And sometimes the growth stops after a point of time because for some roles you do need an MBA degree. So in those cases, they go ahead and do an executive MBA because they already have the skills. They need the degree. So yeah, when I
Right.
say the system, I mean the corporate industry.
Corporate. Okay.
Yes.
Then we have,
How did you get to teach?
okay,
Can you share the process?
teaching.
Yeah, so I have already mentioned bits and pieces of it. I want to get into academics. I leveraged my industry experience. I also appeared for UGC NET and all of that. Appeared for an interview, got selected, and that's how here I am.
Okay. What are the best options for someone who wants to get management degree in strategy, marketing, and branding after BTS?
Okay, so all the three areas where I look into. So my degree was in hospital management. And again, I have answered bits and pieces of it previously that for understanding strategy and branding and positioning and all of that, you have to understand the system better first. So you get a degree, you work in the areas where you are more interested in, and it could be in the, like any field. I did it in hospital management, but I have not worked in a hospital. I have worked for and tertiary
Consulting.
company. I've worked in consulting. I've worked in sales. I've worked in marketing. So it's basically how well you are nourishing and flourishing the areas where you want to work into. But yeah, you have to be
Okay.
creative. I think for all these three things, no, strategy, marketing, you have to be creative.
I also feel that more than creativity, like if you feel you're someone who's not creative, because a lot of people say this to me, but I've met a bunch of people who are not even that creative, but they're very quick on their feet. They know how to adapt. They know how to sort of,
Yes.
change with changing times. That's also a very important skill. If you have that more,
Yeah. But you know what, Dr. Naita, I would consider that also creativity.
yeah,
See,
that's true.
yeah, because
That's true.
creativity is basically thinking of something which probably
Yeah,
other people might not, or thinking of something which you do not see in front of you. So people who are usually quick on their feet, they're
yeah.
extremely creative
Correct, correct.
because they are seeing something in front of them which
Hmm.
we are not
See,
seeing.
I just did the thing where you said no, that we tend to downplay our work because
Yes.
I do feel that am creative, but having worked in marketing, branding, and strategy at Odigio, then operations or client facing roles, you and I almost have the same profile. So
Yes.
I always tend to say that too. But yeah, you've given me a bigger perspective on yes, that is also creativity, thinking out of the
Absolutely. See,
box.
creativity, what society has taught us, key creativity, as in you might paint good, you might sing,
Yeah,
you might be good at DIY crafts and all of that. No, creativity is basically thinking out of the box,
yeah. Correct,
right?
correct. That's
So
true.
you are extremely
Especially in a
creative. Yeah,
Yeah, especially in a professional setup, it is what is creativity. That
absolutely. You
makes a
have to
lot
be
of sense.
extremely adaptable. You have to be extremely
Yeah,
flexible. You have to, "Okay, this is not working. Now what?" 10
yeah.
people
What
come
next?
and say to me, कि, "Okay, this is not working." ठीक है, okay, this is not working. But अब क्या? That is
That's
where your
what,
creativity comes to play.
yeah, correct. That is very true.
Yes.
Okay, which PGDM course will be better after BSc Medical Imaging Technology?
Whichever PGDM course you would be more interested in. If you feel that, like medical imaging technology hai, I want to work in the technological part, I would want to go into health IT. Or if you feel that you can, like implement all the technology imaging because it's medical imaging. AI is again another booming area where you can apply all of this. So basically, whichever area you are interested in, whichever your vision or mission is, all these pharmaceutical might not be an area of interest for a person who is coming from this field if this was a choice for them, because most of the times students don't go into a UG degree just because it was their choice. That is another contradicting area. So if you feel that you chose it because you were interested in medical imaging technology and you want to like go on the same line, just amplify it, choose AI.
Mm,
It will help you.
right. And that sort of helps you get into medical devices companies also. That's one of the
Absolutely, yeah.
most important thing, that people get into. So, okay, how can someone from MPH get into teaching like assistant professor? Can you please elaborate from the beginning? I think you've already covered that. Is there something new?
Yes, and there is one a participant who is asking about the fee structure. So what I'll do, I'll
Yeah.
request him to
Sorry.
drop in. Yeah, no worries. So I'll ask my team member to drop in a like an email ID and a contact number where you can reach out. So it's a 2-year course, and overall fees around 8.5 lakhs, depending upon the course that you have chosen. And there are also some scholarship opportunities as well. So you can reach out to the admissions team, and they'll be able to help you out with it.
So 8.5 is for one year.
Yeah, so 2 years overall
Two.
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Risha, can you please share a little bit more about pharmaceutical management scope here in India and abroad?
Okay, done. So pharmaceutical management is also a very interesting field because majorly because there are multiple areas, multiple verticals in it that you can explore. It could be medical affairs. When you are working in medical affairs, then you will be dealing with like probably clinical trials and the study and the research behind it. And if you're working in the business part, you will be working as a product manager or a brand leader, working upon the entire packaging and branding and launches of it. So in India, it's booming. It's absolutely booming with major players like Novo Nordisk, AstraZeneca, Abbott Vascular, and all of it. Glenmark, Johnson and Johnson. Like there are so many names. So pharmaceutical, again, as I said, healthcare is going nowhere. Pharmaceuticals is absolutely going nowhere.
I think
They are here
healthcare
to
is
stay.
the only thing that is recession proof. The only thing that changes is probably the salary packages offered during the time you join in the recession. But I
That
think it's recession proof.
it always
Sorry,
bounces
please.
back. Yeah, it always bounces back.
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yes, the scope is a lot, and as I mentioned that, depending upon your choice, you want to be it in clinical part, you want to be in the medical part, you want to be like involved in clinical trials, or you want to work on the business and the client servicing side of it. Multiple options are there.
Okay, then next we have. Thank you for the reply, Dr. Isha. This is where can I apply? Because this is for the teaching roles.
Okay. So you will have to see. You have done MPH. I think you have done
Yes,
MPH,
yes,
right? If I'm not
MPH,
mistaken.
MPH and cleared UGC.
So you will have to explore certain public health institutes majorly, whatever your area of specialization is, because there are multiple courseworks that we are doing in our post graduation also. But you will have a core, right? That this is what I can teach, or this is where I have the specialization. So basis of that, you will have to do a quick research on public health institutes majorly, or you can also apply in health management colleges where public health subject is being taught. So you will have multiple different options. IIHMR, IIPH, there are multiple different colleges, but yeah, the research should be done by you. You will have to see what are the colleges, and you will have to go to the websites. You will have to check whatever role is available.
And more importantly, it takes a little time for academic jobs to actually open up. I wouldn't say that just look at bigger institutes because that those opportunities come very late. I did have a client of mine who was working as an assistant professor at a small institute where she was developing end-to-end
Mhm.
courses. So that can sort of keep building your profile on the side, and then you can sort of start applying to bigger institutes as and when opportunities open up. So
Absolutely. And you very well said that here job opportunities do not open up so easily, because
yeah,
usually people do not switch very quickly from academics.
correct, correct. Hmm.
Working in private corporate sector, you will see that turnover rate 1.15.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In
Yeah,
academics, you usually stay and continue.
correct, correct. That is true. What kind of jobs can we expect as a BDS graduate? You've covered that. Any in good internship you suggest for someone pursuing MBA in healthcare management? Healthcare management, I think. What is the best stream for elective that we can choose in here?
See, this is what I was talking about. There is no one best stream. There is absolutely not. What works for me might not work for you. So you have to figure out which is your area. Are you interested in hospital management? Are you interested in public health? Even in hospital management, which area do you want to work in? Are you a quality person? Are you a procurement person? Are you a supply chain person? Are you a client servicing person? Or you're an operations person? There are multiple streams. You will have to start understanding your inclination towards it. If you want, you can reach out to either me or Dr. Nahita at a later stage where, like, if you want to talk in detail about it, that, like, these are the areas of my interest, these are my strong areas, now what? But yeah, this will require more information because there is no one best stream. That is,
That is, again, I would like to emphasize this is not scripted. We have not had a discussion before. This is exactly what I say. Another tip that I will give you, which I tell people, is make sure to see deep down, you always know that this is what I'm good at. You know that since childhood. It's not even something like, for example, I know that I am a people's person. I love talking to people. I love interacting with them. I always knew that heart of hearts. And I capitalized on that. I didn't know how to make it into a job particularly. But I would say one more piece of advice: if you're doing something, get internships outside of college. So that, let's say, for example, if you have 2, 3 internships, you can decide that, okay, you don't have to put it on paper, but you know that this is what I want to do further. And that is where your proactiveness comes into picture. So I think
and
we've got.
just one thing, and just being an academician, while you are choosing these internships, make sure that you're following the rules that your placement cell has written down for you. So follow that when you are doing it.
Oh, so there are rules on, like, I
Yeah,
am not aware of that.
because the thing is, when I say rules, there has to be it has to be translated to something,
Okay.
right? That's the major
Hmm.
thing. So for example, we have a very structured system where students can
Okay.
apply for internships outside also, but then they also have to do a project report on that. And
Okay.
sometimes what happens, because I have seen this, if you are doing 2, 3, 4 internships, then you are not focusing enough on the project report, then you are not focusing enough on the dissertation report. Because you have to make sure that while you are exploring, it is also being translated to knowledge. It is also
Right.
being translated to a quantifiable piece of paper where you can actually tell people about the kind of work that you have done. So sometimes that this can also happen. I'm not saying that it happens with everyone. There are students who are doing dual internships also. There are students who do that.
Okay.
But then in that case, they are taking great efforts and measures in doing justice to both
Yeah.
the rules. Because it might happen that you signed up, you bit more than you can chew, and now you don't know what to do
Correct,
it,
correct.
right?
And this is something which I
Yes.
used to do in college also. Like I went back to college right now and everybody was like, I told them that I was doing everything together because I was also balancing my academics. And
Yeah.
that's why no staff had a problem with whatever I was doing because I was
Absolutely.
able to deliver on all fronts. So that's something which I wasn't aware of that. But yes, I would like please go with what Dr. Isha has said because placements are more important than having internships, guys.
This is where the academicians kind of comes up. You
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, no. Of course, that's a good piece of
So
advice.
the bottom
Uh,
line is you should be able to justify what you are doing, and you should be
correct,
able
correct,
to the accountability and give your 100% to it. Otherwise,
correct.
half-heartedly, it is not going to take you anywhere.
Makes a lot of sense, yes. What are the most essential skills to require to work effectively in a hospital or a healthcare setup?
Hmm. So we have taken a bit of this and that also, but if I have to just jot it down, you have to be proactive, you have to be empathetic, you have to be a good communicator, and you have to have command on your knowledge, whichever area you are working in.
Okay, then
Yes.
next I think we have I went a little down, sorry.
Ravina has asked, I have BBA in
Hmm.
hospital management, currently pursuing PGDM, AI, and DS. Are you pursuing it from IHMR itself? Because I believe IHMR is the only institute in India right now which is providing a full-time course on
Yeah,
AI.
she is.
Yes, yeah.
She is.
Hope to explore managerial roles in healthcare or completely focus on technical roles. Okay, so see, the thing is, give it time. You have already joined it. You have already, just 1 second. Yeah, you have already joined this particular course, and the first year basically sets up the entire, like context for it. Which area do you want to go ahead with? The technical roles are also not going to be so technical with. So let me take a step back. I have to rephrase it in a way. When I spoke about the coding thing, so you will definitely learn a bit of this and that. You will definitely learn certain technical knowledges. You will also learn prompt engineering, you will learn Gen AI, and you will learn all these things, all these shenanigans which are required. Now, while doing it, it is on you if you want to go extremely technical, if you want to work in the back end, if you want to work in the front end. So the option, the avenues will be open for both managerial roles and technical roles. Now you have to see where does your expertise and your interest lie.
Okay, is it required to take an MBA after a CMA degree? I'm not really sure on what CMA is
Yes,
actually.
same. I'm also, let me do a
I think if you can
check.
put it on what CMA is, we'll address that till we'll move on to the next one. Okay.
Yes.
Ma'am, some universities or colleges offering online MBA.
Probably. Okay, let's wait
Sorry.
for Yadida to
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Dida, you can just put it in the chat box on what CMA means. Then we have some universities or colleges offering online MBA programs. Also, which one is better, online or offline? That you've covered. I would want you to just shed a little light because we've extended by the time a little bit. So, is it like are online MBAs all executive MBAs? And do executive MBAs like which do you recommend going for an online MBA or an
Okay.
executive MBA?
So my answer is always going to be the same, that if you have the privilege, if you have the time, please do go ahead with the full-time MBA program, because the knowledge that you will get in it is definitely going to be incomparable. Because what happens now in online MBA as well, it depends how much are you able to cope up with it, because you will be given the material, you will have to go ahead and give the exams. How much are you, it's basically self learning. You will be getting the material, you will be getting the recorded sessions and all of that, but a major part of it is going to be self learning. So you have to see key at what level are you at, and that is how it will work.
Okay, we found out what CMA is. CMA is Certified Management Accountant. So, is it required to take an MBA after Certified Management Accountant degree?
There is nothing about requirement. It is basically about where do you want to be in future. If you want to work in a healthcare management field, if you want to work in the verticals that we have mentioned, then a degree is definitely good to have.
Okay, then can you recommend some healthcare management colleges with decent fees and strong industry connections?
This will require research from your end, Akanksha, because I do not know what decent fees mean as per you. And yeah, everybody will have a different budget in their head, everybody will have a different expenditure capacity. So you have to see everything is available out there, and you can reach out. And I have like my team has already shared admissions like contact info over here. If you want to explore about IHMRB, they will be like more than prompt in helping you out.
And I've been working at a hospital, so I can study and work both parallel. Like IIT Madras has such course. So is there any course related to hospital management and consultant?
Okay, so the same answer will be here as well. If you're already working over there, and if you want to probably, like continue working and have a degree, there are certain certification courses that IIHMR Bangalore also comes up with, and IIT Madras also, as you have mentioned, they are there. But you will have to keep an eye on the website and on the new courses that they are coming up to, because multiple such courses are there
Okay,
which you can go ahead if you want to for
teaching
it.
option after MBA in HHSM. Can you brief it once again, like a fresher? Is there any chance, or do we need some kind of good experience?
Okay, so very quickly, I'll just tell you there are multiple ways that somebody can take, because I'll just lay down a couple of like options for you. There are some people who go ahead with their graduation stream, post graduation, they go ahead, take a PhD, clear UGC net, and then they directly start applying. Then there are certain people who have taken their graduation, post graduation degree, they have worked out in the industry, and then based on their industry experiences, they appear and then they come for it. So when you say fresher, what fresher do you mean? Like, do you mean a postgraduate fresher or a PhD fresher? Because soon after post graduation, if you have to teach, I doubt that a lot of colleges which which have a strong branding might take you as a fresher soon after your post graduation, because if you have to teach, you also need to know. Teaching just from the books is not something that they are looking for, right? A lot of core experience, be it in industry, be it in academics. So you have to see, are you coming from that level?
Okay, and is there any last question? Is there a vast difference between MBA in healthcare and MHA? Like, will there be a difference in career trajectories?
Okay, so this again I've answered. I'll just reiterate it. At the end of the day, when the hiring is happening, be it MBA in healthcare, PGDM in healthcare, and MHA, all of them lie in the same pool. We are all applying for the same jobs.
I think the subjects relatively more or less remain the same. So I think that really sort of helps. And when you're on campus, when you start interacting with people from different courses, that sort of also gives you a very in-depth peer-to-peer learning that you can utilize and then sort of clear the interviews when it comes to placements.
Absolutely.
So, okay. So this with us. Thank you for attending, everybody. It was a lovely session. Even I got to learn a lot of different things about the course in general. I mean, most of our thoughts align,
Yes.
but just knowing in general about different things that really, really help. Please make sure to fill out the feedback form. We would love to improve moving forward. We would have more webinars such as this. And thank you so much, Dr. Disha, for doing this with us. And I think we learned a lot from today's session.
And likewise, I had so much fun. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining and asking so many questions. I like a session with a good number of questions. So, yeah, it
Same.
was a very good interactive session. Thank you so much, Dr. Anayata. You were a lovely co panelist.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you,
Bye
everyone. Bye bye.
bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you, everyone.
So, just one thing, this link will be uploaded on IHMR's official page also, where you can be redirected to YouTube for the recording. So you can access to this particular recording whenever you wish to.
I posted on
Okay, then. Thank you
Instagram
so
as
much.
well.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.